Hey, welcome back on day 28 of Blueprints. Today I'm kind of expecting some mail in the mail room, which is quite something because we had like an experiment last time, which means that today we have like a few plans. First of all, I still want to continue with like the chess plan. I have to kind of cross out like everything I had last time because obviously that doesn't actually matter for this time. We also have the LiDAR in our code check, which means if we need that somewhere, we can actually use it. I also still want to do like the whole thing with the pump station and all that stuff. It's the same thing every time. But this time it's just kind of important that we also have to get the mail room, which is a room that I never pick because I really dislike it, even though we already upgraded it. Anyway, let's check out the outside. Schoolhouse? Should I try the schoolhouse again? Or the shrine? Our offering should have stopped. We could also get the root cellar. Get like some shovels. If I can upgrade the shovel, it would be actually amazing as like a thing. But first of all, we need a shovel and we don't get that one each time. So yeah. I don't really want... Okay, let's get a schoolhouse, and if I manage... Can I see any items in there? I don't actually know if there can be items in here. Just holes? Yeah, just holes. Like, if there's a chance of an item, then it would be great. I'm gonna try this like 1 or 2 more times, but I feel like there is never an item inside of here. So the next time I draft this, I'm just gonna leave it. So let's end also. Okay, yeah, I kind of muted my game here. Basically, kind of had to raise the volume for a moment. Okay then. Let's do exploration again, speed mode as always. We want a lot of stuff. I'm gonna start with this room this time. Then parlor. Parlor. I have enough steps here in the beginning. Let's go over here. Classroom already. We have 2 gems. The library would also be decent because we want rare rooms, but it would probably be better to get the library on the right side of the estate, right? So let's get the classroom. And then I'm gonna get the gems just because I might need them in a moment. Before I enter the classroom. I don't think that there is anything in the classroom that's going to be interesting. The black box is not empty. The statement on the black box is true. A box with a false statement contains the gems. Okay, so this is actually interesting. The black box is not empty. Okay. If it's not empty, then it obviously contains the gems. It also says that a box with a false statement contains the gems. If this were true, a false statement contains the gems. So it can't be itself, because then it would be a true statement and we would be a paradox. So it can't be the black one. So this one is false. So it is empty. This is a false statement. This can still be true. The statement on the black box is true. So assuming that this is false, then we would have 2 false ones. But it makes more sense if this is true, because if this is true, then the black box is also instantly true. But true, it can't be, right? If I say this one is false, then... yeah, then it would be in here. That just makes sense, right? Maybe I'm overthinking this, yeah. I might have thought this, because obviously this is the only way it works out. So I had to do it this way around. I definitely didn't give a good explanation why the logic worked. That is just kind of how it worked out in my head. Corridor would be kind of a waste, but I don't really want to waste 2 entrances here if I can. So let's take the corridor. It's fine. It's going to be a waste of a key later on, because this one would have been unlocked anyway. Okay, let's go over here. We already had the classroom. This is the second classroom now. We should get that one while we have the chance, because obviously we need a lot of them over time. This is already something we had. There's an apple here. That's fine. You know what? No, wait, we can't use the computer in Blackbridge. I just thought like maybe I should have used the experiment, because I thought there was like one where we got a buff whenever we ate an apple, but maybe I'm not gonna eat the apple just in case I get that one again. Another classroom. Gonna take that one. Right, this is the last one that we reach. This is grade 3. Is there something else besides an apple here? I don't think so. Okay. We can also reroll a lot, so I'm gonna draft from this side. I'm just gonna draft the library, because I want the library here anyway, like nearby. Yeah, it's fine. Don't overthink it. We also got a map. We have yet to use a map properly, I just realized. Every single time? Okay, it's over here, rank 5. I don't know how to use maps properly. Maybe I just have to enter that room. Please select one. We already have all of those, right? We've read those two. Yeah, we don't really care about this one unless I find the bookstore again, which I can get here. Alternatively, I could get the boiler room and then hope that I get something good either on the right or left. But if I get this one, I'm going to go back via the other classroom to get the pool. Right, this sounds like a reasonable idea. I'm not going to take the weight room here, and I can't afford the cloister, so I have to use this one. I'm just not going to use any of the exits. I'm still going to power it already. Doesn't really matter that much. Wait, did I flip you? I have to flip you. Let's power you. I don't think the library can accept power though. I'm assuming here. Yeah, I don't see any power. That's fine. Again, I don't really care. I just need the boiler room already. And now I need the pool and stuff. And once I have the pool, I can explore the other side. That should be fine. And again, I'm not going to pick up the apples. For now, that should be fine. Lost and found. Ooh, I don't really want to get that one. It's a new one. I only have the treasure map. I don't know how treasure maps work, and I don't really want to lose an item. Yeah, that's like kind of the issue here. Let's redraw. You have like a lot of redraws here. Courtyard, you're not rotated properly. I don't want the bedroom. Nursery, no. Closet, no. I need something where I can go further. Reading nook doesn't help us. Wow. I guess I'm taking the boudoir just for the rerolls. I don't need to reroll again. Like that would be kind of a waste. Like if I get like a bad item here. Yep. More dice. Where's there a gap? Oh wait, because I don't have keys probably. That's why there's a gap in the UI. It just looks so off. Anyway, we probably have to find our first key and then it's going to show up properly. The gym isn't too bad. Yeah, let's take the gym. It's a few steps that we are losing, but we can at least check out those two places. I'm taking the walk-in closet. 4 items isn't too bad. Also, we can look at our shirt. And we bought it with hard-earned money. Also, if we get the vault again, I finally have that key again. Can we light anything in here? I don't think so. There's a swan statue, but not a chess piece, if I see that correctly. Oh wait, there's black pawn there. I don't know if I have that one on my list. I'm gonna try to remember it if like for later. Alright, let's see if we can get the pool. We got the pool! Exactly what I want. Do I risk drawing from here now? No, I'm gonna go back. We have this one now. This is kind of a waste of steps, but we have to do it like this because otherwise it doesn't work, and I don't want to continue over there because if I get the pump, then that would be really bad because then I would have to connect it from like the other side, and that would be really annoying. Okay, do we go to the left or the right? Let's check out the right first. Dark room can be powered. Reading nook cannot be powered. I should have probably checked that one. I do know that the dark room can be powered, and we should let power flow through there because that shows us if we get a powerable room, and that makes it more likely for us to get a good option. Alternatively, I could draft on the other side because I am guaranteed to see this way if I get like the breaker box at some point. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Let's power this side over here. Open the door and see. The weight room is the... Oh. It's probably worth it though, because then we get a connection to the pool as well. Okay, and redraw. I'm gonna redraw. Archives is decent. Locker room also can be powered. Would give us more keys, but I feel like archives is probably worth it. Because there's two options, both of them are powerable. So why not? Also, there can be an item in here every once in a while. I feel like it lays around here though, most of the time, so we didn't get one. Well, it's going to be a little bit more risky to get anything in here. Pump room. We got it. Finally. Okay, the pump. Tank 1 drain. Are you draining this tank? Okay. Neat, this is how you work. And now I can... Okay, tank 1 fill. I don't want to fill tank 1. I want to drain the reservoir here. For that I need to pump this direction. And if I press the button again, once you're done obviously, then I should be able to move all the water around. And I should be able to completely drain the reservoir. And we can actually just reach it. We have accomplished what we wanted to accomplish actually. Okay, this is completely filled. So let's drain the reservoir some more. We have to fill the fountain, but that's not an issue because we can reach the other side from like 2 other places. So we can actually use this one to store coins again, which is actually a cool effect. Okay, let's drain you over here. I'm looking forward to finally being able to do that, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine because we are obviously draining into the fountain first. Let's flip this over. Okay, so you should be able to store everything, and then if I drain everything inside of these 2, then that should be fine, right? I can store another tank inside. Okay. Reservoir. You want to fill all of this? I know this takes some time, but it's just a waiting game. We could, in the meantime, just check out if I can draft. Okay, I can't draft everything over there because I don't have keys. Well, how lucky am I? Okay, move this over. I still need to fill the fountain a little bit more, but that's not too big of an issue. Yep. Let's fill the fountain one last time. And then the reservoir's completely drained. And we can actually look at the ground floor. It's definitely worth it in my opinion. Okay. We don't want to fill you, we want to drain you again. And this is the last bit of draining that I have to do. We could also drain like another room. I mean, we have the greenhouse filled, but you know, that's fine. Okay. I mean, I am done with everything I wanted to do today, basically. Or like everything important. But we can still explore a little bit. Security would connect to the pool. We don't need power this direction though, so it doesn't really matter. But like having security isn't actually too bad. And then I can... yeah, you're obviously opening. What I want to say was... we can run an experiment from here, right? We should probably do that, like in case there's like one that works whenever I eat an apple, for example. Maybe I get like some gems each time. But first, state inventory, 2 fruits, yeah. 1 sleeping mask. I missed that one. It's probably inside of this one, maybe. Log into network. I hope I'm not, you know, blocking any sort of progress here by doing this. Maybe I need like a special terminal to connect later on. If that's the case, then I guess I have to wait for another day. Luckily, all the changes that happen via the pump are permanent. So remote terminal access, the active ones. Let's get the lab. Yes. Ooh, we're making progress. I love it. Connecting to the terminal. And I would like the experiment setup. Yes, continue. That doesn't... Whenever you draft an archive floor plan, again +1 star. You know what? Archived just be random and get a star each time. You know, let's buff our stars. I wanna get like the later levels of stars So that doesn't actually matter that much. And we already have the archive, so we are getting a lot of archived plans. Okay, experiment has been started. Let's exit. That's fine. We still need to reach the office, but we can do that later. What's smarter? Wait, it's probably still smarter to go via the gym, right? We could check out the next room in the pool, by the way. Get like something that's already archived. Sure, the archived one. And it's a bedroom. Experiment is successful and there's nothing inside, I'm assuming. Huh. By the way, I should have probably paid attention to the sleeping mask. There's probably one laying about. I don't know where it would be though. I feel this is like a big item, right? Like we would have noticed it had we seen it. Maybe just laying around here and I missed it? I thought like normally the items are like around here. Maybe they are not. It's not inside of here, right? Not like behind here. Either way, I guess I'm just... Maybe it's in the walk-in closet and I missed it? I feel kind of embarrassed if that's the case. I'm just gonna waste my 2 steps here. That would probably be a room where it makes sense. Because... I like to miss items in here because... Oh yeah, it's in here. Yeah, obviously I had to miss it. It's probably still worth it to get that one in case we are exploring afterwards. Because here we are getting some steps. We could get the apple now. Because we don't have to wait anymore. Also, we need to get the vault this time around. But in any case, we want to go over here. There are a few things that we can do now. First of all, make a wish. Second of all, now that we can reach the underground from here, I want to do it via this connection, right? Doesn't actually matter that much. I mean, there are stairs on this side. I actually wanted to check out what happens if I reach the well now. But we can do that another time, I guess. Maybe once we return. For now, it's more important that we can see what happens inside of the reservoir. Because that's obviously something I've been looking forward to for a long time. Because there's like this tunnel that we can't reach. But first... There are a bunch of trunks? I feel like I need the sledgehammer here. Why are there so many in here? Also, they have like different symbols on there. Different element symbols? I can just go in here, right here. A sun? This is locked. They're all locked. Okay, now I need a sledgehammer. I feel like this would be an amazing find. The question is this like a one-time thing? Or is this like the... what's it called? Like the pool where I'm getting more items each time. Also, this tunnel still bothers me. We have the boat over here. Maybe we can reach like the right level now that we can enter the boat. To move over? Anyway, we probably still want to reach all of those. It wouldn't be too bad to open them. For now, I'm just gonna leave them here. Maybe if I don't get a sledgehammer, I'm just gonna leave them for a bit. I still wanna check out the other side. That shouldn't be too hard to reach. Also, we obviously can't... Yeah. Elevator button. I should have we had security. Why didn't I mess around with security? Should have probably done that. I mean, in case we get like a breaker box, then we can still do that later on. Doesn't actually matter right now because the effect only works like when both of the rooms are active. For obvious reasons, right? Like we have experimented enough. Okay, now the question is, how did I reach the other place? I did it from down here, right? Yeah. I just want to real quick look. If there's nothing else to find, then so be it. Either way, let's see if I actually... Have we finished the boiler room now? Because I have like a list of all the things I can interact with. Boiler room. We have the pump room, the garage, the laundry room, the furnace. And the lab. Yeah, we have everything now. So we don't actually need a boiler room anymore. There is very little we can do with that one, so I don't really mind. Yeah, we just still need the chest stuff for later. Hopefully we can get enough steps. By the way, I didn't actually pay attention this run to where all of these things were. So that's another thing that I like doing. Okay, that's just a piece of paper. I just want to see what happens if I try to interact with that door in the well area. I probably just can't. Oh, there's actually water in here. Interesting. Okay, this is a way to block us from actually interacting with the door. Yeah, I guess this is it. I mean, I had kind of hoped for more. Like, one of the issues that I am currently seeing is that, and I say it's an issue. So there's this one hole that I was really curious about in the wall, but I don't think that we can reach it in any way, shape or form. Like, it doesn't really matter which water that we have, because we would have to reach one of the boats. Maybe we can do something if we move the boat to the other side. Like, I'm assuming that we can use the boat somehow. But that would mean that we have to use the pump again, fill it up, reach that place, and we probably don't have the steps for that. Which is like the biggest issue right now. So, yeah, This time is probably not going to be a chess piece run. We are going to do that one next time. At least we have like we do know what happens if we drain the entire area there. And now we either have to use a sledgehammer or we have to get a lot of keys to open all of those. I feel like they're going to be important. I don't know if we are getting like permanent items. Maybe there's just allowance in each of them. Maybe they're just useful items, and whenever we get a sledgehammer, we are just getting like a massive boost to everything. Okay, so we don't actually care about darkroom anymore. Like, particularly anymore. Or you can still go over there. Like, I mean, like, from a power standpoint. Because we have powered everything. I'm still gonna go via this path. Did we get the apple? Yeah, we did get the apple over here. But we didn't get the apple in here, right? Yeah. Okay. By the way, what was the experiment again? It was archive floor plan, yeah. So we still want to draft a lot of those. At least make some progress when it comes to... Yep, power's out. When it comes to the other effects. I mean, they're all dark, so let's just pick the middle one. Oh! That's not too bad. Reading nook. I hope the library looks the other way. No, you're looking that way. I guess bedroom or just the archive one? We still have like one more path, so let's take the archive one and just gamble. Ah, storeroom. I mean, could have been worse. We're getting more stars. We have 11 now, which means something. I should have probably looked at the list what 12 does, but I feel like 12 is probably the next time something happens. But we only have like a few more steps left. We should be able to at least draft like 1 or 2 more rooms though. I'm going to leave it like that, right? Worst case, we only need like the regular pump now because this tank should stay full, I'm assuming. Do I open this one? Yeah, I'm gonna open this one. That's fine. I'm gonna regret it if I get like a shop here, but otherwise, you know, getting more dice, it could have been a gem, right? Like gems could have been really important while drafting. Commissary needs a gem. Okay, so unless I can buy food in there, it doesn't actually help me if I get a sledgehammer. But it's still a good item, like it's still a good room to get, so I'm gonna get it. We can buy some shovel, I guess a gem, set of gems. Sure, let's buy a set of gems so we can at least draft the last few rooms. Maybe we can get like a bedroom here. Regular bedroom isn't too bad. I'm gonna be, you know, a little bit risk averse for like the last few steps, just so maybe I can get like 2 more rooms or so. The foyer, utility closet doesn't actually help us here. Wait, if I get that one, then I have to go this 11 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, we can't actually reach the foundation anyway. I could just get the foyer. Guarantee that we have enough keys, basically. Not just the archive one. Let's take the archive one. Let's gamble. And it was a good gamble. We are getting a gem. We can continue over here. And we have at least one more room. Use a key. That's the last one. Classroom. That would be the fourth one, right? Do we want the fourth one or do we just want the archive plan? No, let's get the classroom. This is going to be like the end of the run anyway. So let's at least learn something. Ooh. This is actually what I was looking for a long time. We should be on the south half of the world, right? Moraven. The Great... Just... Okay, where are we on that map? Orinda areas. Arch areas? Okay, let's look. This is the Sphere, the third era. The Devoted Circle. Oh, we have all of symbols here. We have the heart in the middle. Orindia over here probably. Okay, different planets. Would be nice to have a magnifying glass here, right? Wasn't there one in the commissary? Let's first see if I can actually continue going. Okay, it's locked anyway, so let's return. Real quick before I look at stuff, let's get a magnifying glass. Right, there was one. I hope. I hope I'm not crazy. Yep, magnifying glass. Perfect. Sometimes, you know, sometimes the game just works out. Like most of the time it just trolls me, but this time, you know, this time around I feel like this is decent. So let's first of all figure out like everything in grade 4. I'm gonna ignore like the map here for a moment. I hope this isn't a political statement. Absolutely not getting geography here. Okay. Kathleen. Can't believe this. 4-7. Some of them are right. Is there like one who has like most of them? Identify each realm. Oh. There's something. This is Fen. Auras. Reddington over here. Okay. Try museum. Okay, you know what I just thought about? There's actually the thing where we have to take a test at the very end of the game. We do know about that because there's like a trophy in there, I think. Right, there's like an achievement on like the page in the entrance. And my theory is currently we are supposed to learn everything on like the different pages here. And at the very end we have to actually solve it and have to fill it out ourselves. This is like my theory right now. I just realized that this is actually something I should think about. But for now, let's just look at the world map. That's the Nerve Circle, okay. This is going to be interesting for later. That one, the Spiral of Stars. This is the one that we saw in her ladyship's chamber. With like all the planets. And it was said, when does it end? There's a tree here? But why was the Spiral of Stars there? Why is that important? Is that important for the stars that we have gathered? Maybe. Maybe we can figure out like all the different constellations we are getting here somehow. I'm just gonna look at it and like remember it for later for my like when I'm really editing, because sometimes, you know, I mention this, sometimes I get a better chance to think about stuff. The Sacred Circle? Okay, this is probably important. This order, have I seen things I can press in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's always like the opposite side. Why is this important? They're talking about rot here? Why? I don't assume that they are suddenly switching over to German and it's just like the color red, so... Why this one? Tor? 46? As in room 46? Is that kind of important? Like the number 46 is definitely somewhat important, right? You have you guys? You have a bunch of boxes. We have 6 boxes on the... Okay, on the bottom. And the sun. We have this one. With the different realm symbols, probably. The 8 here? Is it supposed to be like infinity or actually an 8? It could be infinity. Because we've seen none of the... Like, we've seen those symbols before. For the sigils. Wait, I actually have it on in my notes. Let me quickly skim over those. So, we do know about Orindia, obviously. But this isn't Orindia. We don't have this one, actually. Like the diamond shape, we don't have in our notes. We have the hourglass, which is a Raja or something. We have the heart, it's something with CO. I had never figured out what the entire thing is. And this symbol we also don't have in our notes. Which is interesting. 2 of them we don't even have. Huh. The Great Dress? Vera? Seja? Raven, okay. But at least confirms, you know, I obviously theorized this like a long time ago, that this world doesn't really work like our world. For multiple reasons, one of them being, you know, the alignment of the sun. Because I've already mentioned that the sun is actually in the north, so we would be on the south half of the world. And that's like one of the things, even though I'm always thinking that this is British, which doesn't make sense. There's like nothing outside of the fact that there's like royalty here that this should be British, right? Anyway, Rinda Aries. Those are definitely 2 completely different continents, right? It's just the other side, I'm assuming. Okay. Insay. Further nuance? It's nuance, okay. Ashsay? Insay? Wasn't the other one also something with say? Insay and Seja. Okay, here it's flipped. And Ashsay, okay. Interesting. I feel like this is probably the most lore that we have gotten, and I can't actually piece anything together. Isles of Orsay. There are 3 of those? Are those these ones? No, those are probably those 3, right? Like alignment-wise. Mora. Vea. Fenmora. Tausha. So we have only a few planets here. Interesting. I don't think that's the Rogue Moon and the Devoted Moon. Do we have 2 moons? What? Devoted Orbit? 24 hours. The Rogue Moon, but it doesn't tell us how many hours it takes. It's actually interesting that this one's moving around in 24 hours, because like in our world, the moon takes a lot longer to move around the Earth. It's just that our Earth is spinning below the moon, right? So, Devoted Circle. Again, I feel like this is so much lore that I'm gonna have to piece together and add to my whole lore pages, which I have to edit, you know, anyway, and fix a lot of things that I have written down. But I've not had the time yet. It's like one of those like editing things that I have to do at some point, but it's obviously a lot of work, and I sometimes just prefer to play the game instead, right? Even though I feel like some of the information that I found would be nice to have properly connected to stuff. Anyway, those are the realms. This is the split in the middle. Right, yeah. There's Vera down there. But we have to figure out all of these symbols that they're using, all the cores. And you have a B minus, which is relatable. You have a C minus. Which is interesting that you're complaining about the political statement here. Don't give any points here. 4-7, also a C minus. We should probably start with those. This is fan areas, right? We do know about that. Arch areas. Orindia. I mean, it's areas still, so it makes sense that would be here somewhere. Do we know about fan areas on this map? I mean, this is like an old map, so stuff has changed. But we do know that the Pentagon is from fan areas. And that could make sense. I'm not gonna say that it's 100% the right answer here. But I do have to look at all of those. Like, I don't think I can piece this together right now. I feel like this could be correct. But like, we can't really figure out a lot of other stuff in here right now, right? I feel like we are still missing stuff. And again, the spiral of stars. When does it end is the whole question. I feel like the drawings like on the sides, they're also really interesting. Why are there like all of those hearts? Why are they pointing at a mountain? Why is there like a connection here? Why are like multiple stops to that mountain? Is that Mount Holly because it's like the largest mountain in the area? Could that be related? But we have like another symbol, I thought. I'm just gonna accept this. This is fan areas, yeah. Arch areas? Wait. Arch areas is on this map. Yeah, so I'm correct. That's this area should be fan areas then. This is arch areas in the north. It's... Oh, wait. They're describing this area here, if I understood this right. Around here, right. At least comparing it to this page here. Again, I'm not gonna spend too much time here. This is Fan, and Reddington is over here with Mount Holly. What's the tower? Horus? Was there a tower described like in the Reddington map? That's too far away, right? I don't think that they're talking about that. Those are just some symbols. Colossus Orindia. Huh. Again, I'm gonna leave it at that. I feel like I need to rewatch this, you know, in my own time. Spend some time really making notes. I had hoped that I could, I don't know, open a drawer here somehow, but I guess this is it. This might just be completely it, right? We don't have another room we can check. Okay, we could go via the foundation had I found the other room, and I don't have a key, which is the whole issue. Anyway, I guess it's another short episode, but we figured out something. We reached grade 4. I'm really happy about that, by the way. I still need to reach grade 10, but I need a good run for that, where I get like all the items that I need and where I can still pick all of the classrooms, because classrooms are still kind of annoying because they are also like, they are a gem each, which is not the best like cost wise. And obviously that means I need a gem, or like 10 gems at least in that run. I also need a lot of keys. I need like other options, but now that I don't care about the pump room anymore or the boiler room, we have like 2 slots that are open now, which is nice, and we can make those more rare. I also don't need the pool. Those are like 3 rooms that I can completely ignore now, which is amazing. Okay, I would say let's call it a day here. Next time, hopefully we can finally do the chess thing. I really hope that we can. But let's see what the game is telling us. This is an academic villa with like 4 classrooms and a library. Actually no, I didn't get the second one, right? Yeah, the library would have turned an awkward way, if I recall correctly. 88 steps, 5 items, in rank 5. This is a really short exploration, but hey, we learned something new, I hope. I really hope that I can actually figure something new out of there. The symbols are going to be interesting. Were there like more than 8? Wait. I mean, there should be like 8, like 1 for each of the different rooms down in the sanctuary. I'm assuming, right? Because we need to figure out each of these sigils. They all have meaning, and we will probably figure out something important once we figure out everything about them. But like my theory is still that we are learning about like the lost history, the redacted history over the course of the game, which is why it's like hidden down there. Once we figure everything out, which is also why we still have to buy the uncensored version of the history book, for example. And obviously that this is all related to our mother's disappearance, who obviously probably disagrees with all the censorship here. My theory here. I don't know how right I am, but this would be the semi-obvious, I'm gonna call it, semi-obvious direction this game could take. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I love learning, and I am really happy that we at least can cross off the pump room for now, as well as the boiler room. We don't need them anymore. We also don't need the well, which is nice. Like, if I ever want to pump the water from the well back into the reservoir, we can probably do that in a way where we can maybe actually use the boat. This is something that would be kind of interesting, but we don't need the pool anymore, because if I recall correctly, I can't actually look at it right now, but I feel like the pool only added the locker, the pump room, and was it the sauna? Is the sauna connected to the pool? I think so, right? But the boiler room is like just something in general, but we don't need the boiler room anymore either, which is also really nice, right? Like, the only reason why we would use it is basically to get the garage, for example, or like, what else could we power that would be interesting? I don't think there's anything interesting that we would be powering in here, right? I have to quickly check. Because we had the lab already, we had the garage, we had the laundry room. I mean, the laundry room would be interesting because the shop is better. The furnace just gives us a key, and we don't actually want red rooms. The pump room we have finished now, so yeah, this is kind of it. I am assuming that we have figured out everything that has to do with the boiler room, and I mean, there were like multiple interactions, which is why this was kind of interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you next time. So till then, have a good one, and bye bye.